Hi guys, so I'm really sorry for the awful lighting. Like I said, I'm not working with fancy equipment, I'm just working with my computer. But I decided to kind of plant you guys on my cutting board and show you something I've been meaning to show for basically the entire time I've been doing my blog. So I'm going to show you how to make my version of oatmeal. Now this is no plain Jane oatmeal. I don't understand how people just eat oats by themselves because that's not oatmeal to me. Anyway, so let's get started so this video isn't super long. I also apologize for this. You see me like the same thing every time. It's because I'm pre-workout. I'm still chilling in my pajamas. Such is life. Alright, so basically what I'm going to start off with is I already measured out my bowl of oats. I'm making this for my housemate for tomorrow morning just because I wanted to show you, and she likes my oatmeal, so she'll get free oatmeal out of this. So I measured out a serving, which is 40 grams of oats, and I've just been soaking it in water. So I'm going to put this in the microwave for 2 minutes. Depends obviously on your microwave intensity. Make sure you have a big enough bowl so it doesn't explode, because that's a really sad moment. And also just keep an eye on it. If it starts to like rise up, then you may need to take it out a little earlier. So 2 minutes, give me 1 second. Okay, so what else you kind of need is I got some, because it's on sale, pumpkin, not pumpkin pie filling, just plain pureed pumpkin. I mean, you can make your own, but this is a buck. This is a buck. So I'm going to make muffins out of the recipe later for my gym. I'm also going to be using my unsweetened cashew milk. A little bit, this looks really sad, but a little bit of banana, that's all I got left. Basically, it just adds a little bit of volume and a little bit of natural sweetness. I'm also going to be using her raw honey. Note on honey, the best honey obviously is to avoid your Billy Bee. I know it's cute and everything, but it's not actually real honey. It's been processed and heated, and it's kind of the nutrients have been kind of taken away from it. So you want to go for raw honey. As if you notice this stuff, it doesn't drip, okay? So you see the difference. You're going to also need an egg or egg whites, depending on your intake of fat, if you're actually monitoring that. But basically what this does is it adds good protein. With the egg yolk, it adds basically a bit of fat to it. Or you can save the fat, just whip in some egg whites. But I'll show you how to do that, because a lot of people get freaked out about whipping egg whites into their oatmeal thinking it's going to taste like scrambled eggs. It doesn't. You don't taste anything, and literally it takes your oatmeal from this to that, which is great, because I think a big bowl of a hug is so much better than a puny little tiny bit of oatmeal that I basically can eat in 2 seconds. The other thing is your toppings. Obviously, toppings are super important with oatmeal, at least I think they are. So here I found, which I can't eat right now, but my P28 gingerbread peanut butter. It's basically a high protein spread, but it tastes a lot like cloves and cinnamon. It's really, really good. So I'm going to put that on there. And excuse my reach. Let me just go down for a second. And also can have pumpkin pie without pumpkin pie spice. And then I'm also probably going to put in some nuts just because she likes the added crunch. And she loves her nuts. And don't take that the wrong way. Okay, so the microwave just turned off. I'm going to grab it. I'm going to whip in our egg, and I'll show you that doesn't make scrambled eggs. Okay, so after 2 minutes, this is what you got. Literally, it looks almost like it's solid. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your egg or your egg whites and pour in as much as you like. Okay, so crack your egg. Okay. And now take your spoon, break the yolk, and just kind of really whip it in there. Okay, it's going to turn like a yellowy color. Just keep stirring, stirring, stirring. I don't know if you can hear that. A little bit of a little arm workout. Okay, just kind of break up all of the egg whites. It starts to harden a little bit because it's starting to cook, right? The oatmeal's hot, so you're whipping it in, and it's almost cooking the egg whites at this point. Okay, so you should end up almost like texture like this. Okay, so no eggy pieces are left. Now what I'm going to do is I like to add a little bit of milk here, just so that when I put it back, because I put it back to finally finish off the cooking process. So I put a little bit of milk in just so it doesn't completely harden like a little cake. I mean, hey, if you want a bowl cake, you could do that too. But a little bit of milk, maybe, I don't know, a few tablespoons. Give that a little bit of a stir. Okay, and now this is going back in the microwave for about 1.5 minutes. Again, watch it, and obviously you don't want it to turn stone. So again, if your microwave is really powerful, maybe keep it to 1 minute. Okay, so the other thing I want to mention is that the reason I had it already soaking is because typically with grains, you like to actually soak them overnight. So if you're making your oatmeal, try to make it a habit of maybe trying to soak your oatmeal overnight. Not only does this help with actually volumizing it because they soak it all up and you add more liquid when you cook it and it actually soaks even more in and can get more full. But what you want to do is you want to increase the digestibility of those oats. So all grains have this outer husk, which our body actually has a really hard time digesting. So what you do by adding water and letting it soak is you're starting to break down that outer coating. Not only does this make it easier for you to digest, it makes it easier on your belly, but it also allows for you to take in those nutrients better because they're more available to you. So I strongly recommend soaking any grains, whether that be peas, beans, lentils, rice, quinoa, oats, whatever the case may be. Soak it for as long as you possibly can. If you want to speed up the process, you can always add in a little bit of lemon juice just to kind of add to the acid and help to break down that outer husk. So I also did not put chia seeds. I normally put a teaspoon or so of chia seeds just for the added fiber, and also again, it helps with volume because chia seeds absorb a lot of water. It also helps to add some healthy omega-3s and omega-6 fatty acids. It is a plant-based, so it's not obviously as good as something as fish oil, but I have seen studies showing that chia seeds tend to be a little bit better than flax in terms of your ability to actually use the fatty acids in these to make the DHA that you would need. So that's my microwave done again. So let's go back and get it. All right. So again, it looks solid. Okay, this doesn't move. Milk time again. Okay, so you want to pour in again, maybe 1/4 cup here, depending on how liquidy you like it. I tend to like my oats a little bit thicker, so I'm very careful and cautious not to add too much. But again, mix that through. Okay, now take your, hopefully more than this. You want it to be really ripe. If you want it to actually add some sweetness, then the riper the better. Literally, a death banana is the greatest thing. So kind of slice that up. Okay. And I apologize for the large amount of mashing noises, but this banana is a little bit less ripe. Rita, my housemate, also does not like banana and stuff if she can taste it, so I need to make sure that it's mashed enough so that she doesn't get a piece of banana in her mouth, because then she won't like it. And she will tell me about it, I swear. Yeah, so basically banana or otherwise, you're probably thinking already that this oatmeal takes a really long time. But think about it this way. You're kind of prepping things here and there. You can listen to a YouTube video, get that hunger stimulated. Maybe you're not super hungry first thing in the morning, so it takes a little bit. Do some errands or whatever in the house while you're waiting for your oatmeal. It's worth it, trust me. And obviously you know exactly what's going into your oats. You can customize it, so you really can't go wrong. Okay, so I think I'm done here. What I want to do is add her honey. Okay, Rita has a huge sweet tooth, so I mean, you add as much sweetness. You can add stevia or honey or maple syrup would be really good, or even molasses would be perfect in this. So a little, like a tablespoon for her in that case, or as much as you like as far as your sweet tooth goes. But yeah, she has a very strong sweet tooth, and she will say whether or not if I added sugar or not. So I have to be mindful to make sure that I do add enough for her. So you mix that in, and now I'm going to take my pumpkin and maybe add, a couple tablespoons, good scoop of that in there. Okay, mix it around. It's going to turn a nice orangey color. So not only are you getting a nice kind of treat in the morning, but you're also getting obviously the benefits of the pumpkin, which obviously vitamin A, vitamin C, and the lovely faux tan that you're going to get from eating the nice pumpkin, which comes from the beta carotene. And I know this because people used to tell me all the time, because I have squash a lot and sweet potatoes like every day, or at least I did before I got sick. And people would tell me that they saw orange like under my nose and at my fingertips were a little bit more orangey. It's not a problem. You cannot overdose on beta carotene unless you're taking it via supplement. But if you take it naturally, I've been taught that you cannot actually overdose on beta carotene. So now it looks like this. Okay, you see how much volume that is? It's almost the entire bowl now. We started off with like this much, and if you notice, all of these things that I've done essentially is increase the amount of volume that you get. The last thing I want to add in is the pumpkin pie spice. Okay, now what you want to do is you want to add this in later, okay? So this should be one of the last things. I'm kind of heavy-handed on the spices. Use as much as you like. You want to put this in last because these types of things do not do well with heat. It actually decreases the taste of it when you overheat it. So at least that's what I found from experience. I haven't researched why that is. I don't know if it kills it in the microwave. I'm not sure. So don't quote me on that. I just know from personal experience that if you add it in last, the flavor stays strong. So if you don't have any pumpkin pie spice, use a generous hand of cinnamon, a touch of nutmeg, and if you have cloves or ginger, add those in as well, just a touch. Cloves especially, they're very strong, but they're very, very tasty. Okay, so now you're done. You are done essentially with your oatmeal. You've got your pumpkin pie spice in there, your pumpkin in there. Now it's basically time to have fun with toppings. Okay, so I'm going to take my gingerbread peanut butter and do a nice dollop of that in the middle. Okay, this also has a lot. This tastes very much like pumpkin pie spice, with a good hint of kind of ginger. So it has like a lot more ginger than your typical pumpkin pie spice. It's really good. I would recommend buying it if you like your fancy nut butters. I unfortunately cannot eat it right now, just due to my dietary restrictions post-parasite, but you know, such is life. Okay, so that's that. I did about, half a tablespoon or so because she also likes to have her nuts on there. So basically she has a nice bag of mixed nuts somewhere in her cupboard, which, because I can't find them at the moment, I will put on later. But, so now you basically have the process of how I make my oats. This is how I make them for everybody. You can customize them as you like. If you want more protein, yes, this has some, but she doesn't like protein powder in her oats, which I sometimes will put in, or I'll just put more egg whites in. Do not be afraid of eggs, okay? Eggs do not make your oatmeal taste like egg. It literally just dissolves right in there. You just need to mix it really well, and it'll be fine. You just microwave it again, and it doesn't taste like eggs whatsoever. It's just really good, and it makes it almost like a souffle, which a lot of people actually tend to like. They just are afraid to try the first time, so then I make it for them, and then they like it, and then they start doing it on their own. Plus, it's a nice dose of protein. So you can add protein powder. Again, do this at the very end, because if you try to cook it again, it will get really gritty and possibly cake up, which no one likes. So don't do that. Choose, if you were to do it in this, maybe a vanilla protein would be good, and if you had a maple protein, that possibly could work out as well. Use the sweetener of your choice, as I said. Maple syrup, molasses would have been perfect in this. Honey for more neutral, or stevia. If you don't really care about sugar, then go ahead and add some brown sugar. I wouldn't recommend white. I feel like brown would give it a better flavor, just because it has the molasses already in there. So yeah, and then go crazy with toppings, because oatmeal is nothing without its toppings. So peanut butter, almond butter, nuts, crystallized ginger would be really good. I don't know what else. But other than that, yeah, that's my oatmeal. It's a healthy breakfast item, and it's something that can keep you full for a long. It's a great pre-workout, depending on, your kind of fats. Watch those a little bit. I'm not going to get into that. Anyways, it's a great breakfast. Just enjoy it and try it out, and let me know if you do try it. And I want to see how it goes, and show me some of your creations. All right, so that's the end of the video. I'm going to go train my shoulders now and get out of these pajamas and possibly into 4 layers of coats, because it is freezing outside. Do you know it snowed yesterday? I'm not impressed. Anyways, I will see you guys later. Happy Sunday, guys. Bye.